Eso es lo que estoy. I'm going to spar Gaethje Topuria.
Yeah. Gaethje Topuria, whatever. He's fucking tight.
He's dangerous.
He's tight. That shit is tight.
Everything is so sharp. His technique is flawless. Everything's flawless. His boxing is so dangerous. He's so dangerous everywhere. He's dangerous with submissions. He's dangerous with kicking. He's dangerous.
Okay, so Gaethje Topuria is already in full beast mode, preparing for absolute war rather than slowly ramping up his training. This level of raw intensity is exactly what separates true champions from everybody else trying to make it to the top. There's one fighter's name burned into his brain from day one of camp, and that's Justin Gaethje. We're talking zero gradual buildup or careful strategic planning here. No safety measures, no fallback options, no comfort zone to retreat to. Just straight preparation for violence on the biggest stage MMA has to offer, and that's precisely what makes this whole situation so absolutely captivating. Fight analysts are already going deep on this potential clash, breaking down what happens when pinpoint precision collides with pure uncontrolled aggression, and as training clips blow up all over social media, the excitement is hitting insane levels. This fight is getting written in blood and bruises way before any contracts get signed, and if the White House card really is about making massive statements on the grandest stage possible, then this battle would be the perfect exclamation mark.
Gaethje Topuria on the White House. Has to be. Has to be. No other option.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Walking out of the Oval Office, into the cage, wearing the flag.
Entertaining.
I think we're going to main event it. I think we'll be the main event.
Boom.
Let's go. Once in a lifetime.
I'm totally guessing throwing shit against the wall right now.
Yeah. Universe.
Well, I mean, what else?
McGregor's been tossed around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That fight.
If it's McGregor, then McGregor's going to fight me, and we'll be main event anyway.
There you go. Okay.
So Ilya is laughing now because they have a like dirty boxing, really, you know. They just fighting hard, but there is like no good technique. But Ilya will be left now because Ilya has such a high level boxing.
The first major red flag that something incredible was brewing, at least according to Joe Rogan, happened when Gaethje Topuria jumped to lightweight and squared off against Jay Herbert in what became a career-defining moment. Here's what went down though. Topuria found himself in immediate mortal danger, like genuine fight-ending territory, after eating a perfectly placed head kick from one of the division's most lethal strikers. That type of clean shot finishes fights basically every single time, and everyone watching figured this could be the end. Instead of crumbling under that massive pressure, which is exactly what happens to most fighters when they get tagged that clean, Topuria pulled off something incredible. He adjusted in real time, got his head right both mentally and physically, then came back with pure murder in his eyes. After just one round of violence, the whole story had completely changed. Topuria was exiting the Octagon like victory was guaranteed, like he saw it coming from miles away, and Herbert was laid out cold on the mat, completely finished. Rogan's takeaway was simple but powerful. This isn't just a dangerous athlete we're looking at here. This is also an incredibly intelligent, composed one. Someone with the type of unbreakable confidence that real champions usually only find after they've already conquered their division and eliminated all doubt.
He fought this dude Jai Herbert, and he went up to 155 for that fight. So he's a 45-pounder, and he said, fuck it, I'll take a fight at 55. He gets head kicked in the first round by Jai Herbert. Is a nasty stand-up fighter. He's so good. He's real slick. He's real good stand-up, like real sharp stand-up. And he caught Topuria with the perfect head kick. And Topuria, he's in real trouble. He got dropped. And he scrambled, got a hold of him. Next round, sent him into the dark lands. Blasted him against literally slept him. Face planted him. And walk-off KO. He's an animal, dude.
He is.
He's a real problem because he's intelligent, he's dedicated, he's driven, he's got that kind of confidence that those championship guys have, where they know they're the best even before they're the best. He knew.
Rogan keeps hammering this point home every single time Topuria's name gets mentioned. Timing, not just raw technical ability, is what gives Topuria his real edge against opponents. He has this almost psychic sense of when to unleash his skill set, and equally important, when to completely flip the script and change everything. The Jai Herbert battle stands out as the perfect example of exactly this quality in action. Just think about what actually went down in that sequence. A switch kick catches him completely clean, launching his left leg straight into his skull with the kind of force that ends the contest almost every time in MMA history. But rather than folding, rather than going into panic mode or just trying to survive, Topuria processed it like it was just information to analyze. He absorbed the lesson, made the right adjustments instantly, then methodically flipped the entire fight in his direction. That particular moment, in Rogan's expert view after watching thousands of fights, said more than any highlight reel or marketing campaign ever could. It exposed something core about who Topuria really is as a competitor. It demonstrated to everyone a fighter who understands exactly how to modify his game plan when things go sideways, who can stay sharp under the most intense pressure possible.
Him up. It's just tactically, he's so smart. You know, so it's not just his ability, his skill, it's knowing when to apply it and how to adjust to different kinds of fighters. But the Jai Herbert one might have been the most impressive one. Dude, see if we can find that. He got head kicked. He gets hits with a switch high kick off the left leg right to the face, man. I mean, like this, like he just dropped, which is, you know, 99 times out of 100. It's like,
that's precisely why Justin Gaethje's statements hit with such force and went viral throughout the MMA world the way they did. He's not sitting around speculating about rumors or waiting patiently for official UFC announcements. He's speaking like the matchup is already confirmed, like it's set in stone in his head no matter what anyone else thinks. June at the White House card, that's the goal. Gaethje says that's been the blueprint from the start, and the interim belt he won was just his entry ticket to get into this specific conversation. His message to Topuria couldn't be more direct in this business. If you're already deep in camp and getting ready, you better be prepared for what's about to happen, because this isn't about contract talks or media obligations anymore. This isn't about Twitter exchanges or hype building. This is about what's really going down when that cage door locks, and Gaethje wants Topuria to know he's getting ready for absolute war.
It says he's back. What you think about that?
He better be, because I'm supposed to fight him in June on the White House card.
Uh-oh.
That's who I'm fighting.
Oh, that's who you want.
That's who I have to have. That's why I fought for this thing.
That's why he fought for the damn thing. Y'all heard it. Topuria, Gaethje, let's make it happen. UFC on Paramount Plus. We appreciate y'all. Stay tuned.
But while Gaethje is openly challenging Topuria and making his plans obvious to everyone paying attention, Daniel Cormier is already jumping in with a serious warning to his friend. He tells Gaethje straight up, without any sugarcoating, not to attempt the Max Holloway approach when dealing with Topuria, because that strategy simply won't translate here against this specific fighter. Topuria's power isn't just heavy the way some competitors hit hard. It's accurate, it's constant, and it's methodical. Cormier specifically references the Charles Oliveira fight as clear evidence of what Topuria brings. Every single strike had meaning behind it. Every punch and kick served a purpose, and when Oliveira crashed to the canvas, he was already completely unconscious, eating extra damage on the way down because the initial shots were so devastating. The warning from DC is crystal clear, and it comes from real worry. Gaethje can be prepared. He can be as durable as anyone who's ever entered the Octagon, but Topuria is precisely the type of fighter who capitalizes on even tiny errors and converts brief moments into fight finishing sequences that leave opponents confused about what hit them.
Is there going to be a situation where they come to the center ring like Gaethje and Holloway and just throw level?
Let's go.
Justin Gaethje is my friend. I'm going to tell him don't do that with Ilia Topuria, man. You can't do that with him.
Yeah.
He hit so hard. When him and Charles Oliveira were fighting,
Yeah.
by the time Charles Oliveira hit the ground, he was already sleeping, man. Like,
Damn.
Ilia hit him 2 to 3 times on the way down. So, like, before he even hit the ground, Ilia hit him with the right hand. By the time Charles is, like, knocked out and falling backwards, Ilia done hit him with an uppercut. He hit him with another right hand. And then some guys actually, you fall down, they do like that. The referee like, hey, man, it's over. Ilia jump on you.
Check this out. Topuria tagged Oliveira with a few shots, and despite all the warnings circulating and all the excitement reaching fever pitch, Chael Sonnen throws another interesting angle into this developing narrative that deserves attention. He questions whether all this acclaim for Topuria is completely justified or if it's just hype and storytelling built around one huge victory that grabbed everyone's attention. Because here's Sonnen's compelling observation. Beating someone like Charles Oliveira, as incredible as that performance was, has rarely launched a fighter to immediate stardom the way it did for Topuria. It didn't work out that way for Arman Tsarukyan when he had his breakthrough. It didn't happen for Islam Makhachev despite his crushing performance, yet somehow Topuria managed to shatter through that barrier. Sonnen also mentions the bigger picture, which matters for understanding where things stand. The 155-pound division seems genuinely unstable right now, almost like it's going through major changes. The top contender isn't very busy at the moment. The previous champion has shifted to other goals and opportunities, and the title itself honestly has some damage after what's happened recently. Still, the core truth stays the same. Topuria is working in territory that very few fighters ever experience in their whole careers, and every move he makes going forward, every training clip, every statement, every challenge gets examined under the most intense scrutiny imaginable.
There is a little bit of a question, and it's why I asked these guys, hey, is Ilya as good as everybody's saying? Like, is that what you're seeing? Do we have enough evidence? There hasn't been a time in the past where somebody beats Charles Oliveira and becomes the greatest thing ever. It didn't happen to Arman Tsarukyan, just for example. It didn't even happen to Islam, but it did happen to Ilya. And the 55-pound belt is a little bit tarnished right now. There is some real questions. When the number one guy, which is Arman, is not in the ring, it's a question. When the champion, who was Islam, leaves and Ilya is sitting out, it's a question. The belt is a little bit...
Meanwhile, Paddy Pimblett's viewpoint brings another compelling dimension to the Topuria versus Gaethje story that we have to consider. Having actually fought Gaethje inside the Octagon and felt directly what that fighter delivers in battle, Pimblett understands exactly what the peak version of Justin looks like when everything comes together. And based on that personal experience, he's predicting that version of Gaethje could actually strip the undisputed championship away from Topuria if they clash. Pimblett isn't just casually cheering from the outside like some random spectator. He's already plotting strategically about a possible rematch later on, actively thinking about the exact takeaways he gained from his own battle with Gaethje and how he could use them differently. His comments really highlight the enormous stakes at play here. Topuria isn't just dealing with some random contender or easy fight. He's facing a tested, improved weapon in Gaethje, someone who survived brutal wars and emerged tougher on the other side, and the result of this potential showdown could totally reshape the entire story of the featherweight division for the next decade.
Congrats to Justin Gaethje. I did say before the fight I want the best version of Justin Gaethje, and that Justin Gaethje turned up. So hats off to him. I hope he wins the undisputed title off Ilya, and hopefully we can run it back, even though I don't think he's got too many fights left. Hopefully we can run it back in the future, because there's a couple of things in that fight where that pissed me off, but you know, we get on with it. It's done now. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can go back and change. I just hope that in the future he can step up and have a rematch with me. But it's one of them. I know he's on the arse end of his career, so if he does end up just fighting Ilya and fighting Max or something and retiring, it's one of them. I'll have learned a lot from losing that fight.
But Robert Whittaker isn't holding back when it comes to his evaluation, and you know Bobby Knuckles doesn't just hand out compliments randomly. He views Topuria as functioning on a level beyond anyone that Gaethje has dealt with lately, like genuinely in a completely different universe altogether. Based on Whittaker's professional breakdown, Ilya's striking by itself is miles beyond the rest of the UFC field, and that's before you even consider his wrestling background, his Brazilian jiu-jitsu, his perfect timing, and his combat instincts that appear almost otherworldly. Every move an opponent makes against Topuria risks setting off a brutal counterstrike. Every gap you expose, even for an instant, is a debt that gets paid back with compound interest. For Gaethje to have any legitimate shot in this battle, Whittaker says the strategy for this next training camp needs to completely transform. The version of Gaethje that appeared against Paddy Pimblett, as tough as he was, just isn't armed with the right weapons to deal with what Topuria delivers right now.
I'll just lay it out there. Ilya's striking is leagues above everybody
Absolutely everyone in the MMA world and beyond is dissecting this potential fight, breaking down every possible scenario. The energy is completely legitimate and it keeps growing louder.
You know, and the wrestling and jiu-jitsu is there as well. His timing, his instincts, his instinct to fire off in like his counterattacks. You know, he'll make you pay for every step you take. It's a hard fight. Things have got to change in Gaethje's camp to make the fight competitive. Right now, the Gaethje that fought Paddy won't beat Ilya right now. But that's not saying that we'll see that Gaethje when he fights Ilya.
That was simply the strategy for Paddy. Come forward like a wild animal and apply constant pressure. But Robert Whittaker isn't just throwing casual praise at Topuria here. He's making a massive statement by ranking Ilya among the greatest of all time in the division, which isn't something Bobby does without serious thought. In his expert opinion, Ilya deserves the #2 spot in UFC featherweight history, which is an incredible declaration. He provides the complete reasoning to back up this position. Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway were the real monsters of the division for years, demolishing almost everyone who stepped up with what looked like total ease until they eventually faced each other in those legendary wars. Then Topuria enters that exact environment that was controlled by those two icons, and suddenly everything changes completely. He methodically destroys both of them, showing this unique blend of accuracy, crushing power, and flawless timing that truly separates him from everyone else competing. For Whittaker, this isn't just about winning fights and building up wins. It's about how Topuria completely changes the entire discussion about what it really takes to rule the featherweight division at its highest level.
Next up, we have Ilya. I feel like he has to be up the top of my list almost. Like almost at the very tippy top.
We didn't see enough.
Because of the work he did though. Yeah, I understand that, but he dismantled great after great and then moved up the weight class and dismantled another great. I feel like you can't disregard that. I feel like you can't disregard the fact that he knocked out Volk and Max. And Volk's up the tippy top of my list because it's Volk, okay? He has defended it, he has ran that division since day dot, and it's Volk.
Not because
like,
you're Australian.
Biased. All my picks are biased. Everything I've done on this show has been biased. So, Volk,
you hide it well.
Volk's my #1. Ilya's #2. Ilya's really cool, man.
Full MMA record. Really cool. Volk is 31-1 at 140.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Bonkers.
That is sick.
That's crazy.
But Volk and Max,
31-1?
They were the boogeyman of that division.
MMA and UFC. It's just a UFC thing, but
Volk and Max were running through people. They were running through. There was like fights weren't close until they fought each other.
So then Ilya demolished both legends. Even the most respected voices in the sport, fighters whose words carry serious influence, are paying close attention to what's developing here. Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo recognize the real possibility for something genuinely historic taking shape. A White House main event featuring Topuria versus Gaethje would be absolutely enormous on every possible level, as Cejudo breaks it down in his assessment, and he's considering this from every angle. In the ideal scenario, an American fighter defeating Topuria on that specific platform wouldn't just be a victory for the history books. It would be a monumental statement for American mixed martial arts, the type of moment that goes way beyond the sport itself. This fight isn't just about championship gold or division rankings anymore, though those still count. It's actively becoming a real cultural event, one where legacy and pure entertainment meet head on in front of the entire world on the most massive stage possible.
There's a lot of speculations going on. Oh, is Conor going to come back? Is John going to fight Pereira? What Dana is kind of, is not uncertain about. But I believe with performance like this man has delivered each and every time, I believe Justin and Ilya potentially becomes the headliner for that card.
You're 100% right. And you're 100% right, and it should be. It should be. It should be. If you want to talk about being fair competitively, especially in the performance that he puts, like, why wouldn't you? Right. In the perfect picture, you would want Justin to fight Ilya, beat him at the White House while being an American. Now, will that happen?
Plus, Jorge Masvidal sees Topuria as something genuinely unique in a sport packed with elite athletes, and Gamebred recognizes greatness when he sees it. He points out that Ilya hasn't logged tons of time at 145 pounds compared to some division legends, but if he can string together just a few more major victories there at featherweight, his legacy might genuinely become impossible to match. In Masvidal's season view, Topuria has already achieved what very few fighters can honestly say in their complete careers. He's beaten both Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski at what most believe was the absolute height of their abilities when they were at their most lethal, and that's exactly why Jorge sees him operating on a plane that few fighters in any weight class ever reach. It's a huge endorsement coming from someone like Masvidal. Topuria isn't just moving up rankings or beating whoever the UFC schedules for him. He's actively changing what excellence means in the featherweight division, creating a completely new benchmark. Every fight he takes now carries the enormous burden of that possibility, the stress of matching these incredible expectations, and the whole sport is watching with laser focus to see exactly how far he can extend this amazing streak.
Ilya, they went in there and took out Volk and took out Max, right? And this is a guy that could beat anybody in the world at any given moment. He just didn't stay there that long. But what happens if he does stay at 45 and he gets 1 or 2 more wins? You got to also say that this guy's actually the GOAT of GOATs, you know, because I feel like he took out Max still in his prime and Volk still in his prime, and Max had never been knocked out, and the way he took him out was cold, you know. Same thing with Volk. I think Volk is still in his prime. He's showing he just defended the title. Looked amazing. Obviously, you can't say he's not in his prime. So I think Ilya also has to be entered already in that conversation at 145 of GOATs. I know he didn't stay there that long, but you know, sometimes you're not there for a long time, just a good time. And my boy had fun at that weight, man, because he made some fucking noise, you know.
Masvidal isn't pulling any punches whatsoever in his evaluation of how far superior Topuria really is compared to everyone else competing. He mentioned something fascinating. Paddy Pimblett actually avoided a total disaster by not winning his previous fight, because facing Ilya at this point would have been completely devastating for him. In Masvidal's completely honest opinion, both Paddy and Justin are legitimately skilled fighters. Nobody's arguing otherwise, but they're working a level beneath Topuria in basically every category. Wrestling, striking, defense, offense, fight intelligence. Topuria dominates them completely across every dimension. He creates this clear image of Ilya existing on another planet entirely, almost like he's competing in a different sport than everyone else. Masvidal believes that a war with Gaethje would finally provide Topuria the ideal stage to display that total superiority to a huge audience, systematically dismantling his challenger like a genuine phenomenon that cannot be contained.
It's a good thing that Paddy also didn't win, because if he did, he was going to get torched by Ilya. And I think Gaethje just retires and rides off into the sunset because he don't want to see Ilya. I think both these guys are just like levels below Ilya, and that fight really showed it all. On the wrestling, on the striking, the defense, the offense. I think Ilya's on a whole other planet when it comes to these guys. And hopefully they give him just engages so you can get another guy and do him like a lawn chair, and he's going to fold him.
But despite all the excitement around this possible fight and Masvidal's total faith in Topuria's skills, Rafael Fiziev introduces a needed reality check to the discussion that's worth considering. Speaking honestly about the potential Gaethje matchup, he admits openly that he'd prefer not to see it happen, and his logic makes sense. He's looking at Gaethje's age, with Justin approaching 38 years old, which in fighting terms is getting serious, and more crucially, how he actually performed in his most recent outing. And he's witnessed enough battles to understand that a striking war with Topuria could be incredibly dangerous for Gaethje given Ilya's mix of power and laser precision that we've witnessed repeatedly. While Fiziev recognizes that MMA is naturally unpredictable and absolutely anything can occur on fight night, the specific danger that Topuria represents is obvious to anyone watching closely. He can finish fights in a heartbeat, often when opponents think they're safe, and for Gaethje at this point in his career, this isn't just another name to add to his record. record. It's a legitimately dangerous test that could turn ugly very fast if circumstances don't go his way. So what do you think about all this? Is this fight really getting made and official? Or is it just speculation building steam with all the clips of Ilya's brutal training sessions going viral? And more crucially, who do you honestly believe walks away victorious when everything's finished? Gaethje's age-defying relentless assault that's broken so many competitors? Or Topuria's calculated devastating striking that seems to connect every single attempt? Share your predictions in the comments below because I really want to know what you're thinking about this potential war, and make sure to smash that subscribe button for all the newest updates, fight analysis, and detailed coverage of everything going down in the MMA universe.